Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how dealers are doing some funky stuff with their pricing to basically ensure that they make as much money as possible in the current market situation that we're in. And I know that this might not sound like new news, but it's pretty interesting, this whole tactic that dealers have told me that they're engaging in, and so that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And then if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. And to all of the people that keep commenting that I need to use graphics in my videos and spend a bunch of money on fancy editing and everything, that's not what this channel is about. This channel is just about information. I make these videos frankly for fun, and I hope that I inform at least one person and help them out. Like, just to show you guys the budget of this whole channel right here, this is what the camera is sitting on. It is literally that is the backdrop. It is just a black wall that I have, and this, like, I'm literally standing on stairs, so like this describes the budget for the channel. So like, this is what you're getting, folks. You're not getting fancy graphics, you're not getting fancy editing. Like, it's just talking. So if you've been following my little video series on the car market, then you know that the car market is in a pretty interesting place. New car prices are at an all-time high. Used cars are declining at a rapid rate every single week with their wholesale values. Retail values on used cars are lagging behind. Interest rates are up a massive amount. Buying demand across the board is down. And so dealers are obviously having to react to this entire situation and, do everything they can to make sure that they can sell the most amount of cars possible, but then also make the most amount of profit possible. And this is what has led some dealers to do some pretty interesting things. So let's first talk about the used car market, or, some things that dealers are basically doing with used cars, and then we'll talk about new cars. And new cars, frankly, are the thing that is really exciting for today's video. But with used cars, the first thing that I'm starting to see dealers do is they're actually delisting certain used cars that they have, and it's pretty interesting, and it's actually pretty obvious why they're doing this. So they basically will have these used cars that they bought months and months ago and they paid way too much money for. And so they don't want to lose the amount of money they have to lose to sell this car. And so what they're doing is, instead of discounting the car and instead of having this car priced at an insanely high price that makes them look like an idiot online, these dealers are literally delisting these cars. They still have the car in their inventory and they still have it, like, technically for sale at their dealership. Like, it'll be on their front line, but it won't be posted on their website anymore because they just don't want people to see the crazy price that they have on the car. And they're just basically hoping that maybe prices are going to go up. And so they'll just continue to sit on the car. And if they happen to have a flooring plan on that car, pay interest on the car. And again, they're hoping that things will eventually go in the right direction. And then the other part of this whole hope system is they're hoping that since this is not posted on their website, that then someone's going to basically come in and they're going to see that car and it's not going to be on the website, so they can't see the price. And then the dealer will be able to basically navigate that situation and convince that customer to pay what they want them to pay for that car so that they don't lose a bunch of money. So it's a weird trick, but I'm seeing it happen more and more often. So, like, seriously, go to a local dealership. And again, this isn't every single dealership, but chances are you'll be able to find some cars for sale on their lot, like front line ready, not talking about the back lot, but front line ready, and they're not posted on the website, but they're there. The next thing that is not really a trick, but is something that dealers are still doing that I want to talk about so that people don't do something stupid, is just have used cars priced way too high considering the current market. Again, we've had a massive decline in wholesale values. Retail values are starting to come down, but they haven't come down enough. And so just because a dealer has a car priced at a certain amount, that does not mean that is actual retail value on that car. Sometimes the dealers are just going to have it priced way too high above retail. You don't have to pay that price. You can obviously make the dealer an offer. They might say yes, they might not say yes. But again, that doesn't mean that that car is at that market value. And this is something that I'm starting to see kind of like really confuse people that are trying to sell cars themselves personally. A good example I want to give you guys, because I'm very familiar with this car market because I've owned a few, is the Raptor market. So I owned a Gen 2 Raptor and I currently own a Gen 3 Raptor. Now, if you guys don't know, the Gen 3 Raptor was just released for the 2021 model year, and they've already had that model year go by. You had the 2022 model year go by, and now there are 2023 Gen 3 Raptors that are starting starting to pop up on dealer lots. Now, what this is doing to the Gen 2 Raptor values, it is absolutely plummeting them. Like, they are falling so fast, so hard, faster than the rest of the car market, which is crazy because Raptors are generally a vehicle that holds their value really well. However, there are enough dealers that paid way too much money for Gen 2 Raptors over original Gen 2 Raptor MSRP in some cases that it makes it look like that market's a lot stronger than it is. You have all these dealers that have these Raptors posted for insane amounts of money, but that's just not where the market's at on those vehicles anymore. And so just be really, really careful. Don't just go, oh, well, I see 20 of these vehicles posted for this amount of money, so that must be the market on them. That's in today's market, that is definitely not going to be the case. Chances are all of those vehicles are overpriced because all of those dealers overpaid for them, and you need to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of research, and find current wholesale values so you can see exactly where things sit. And I guess if you happen to be someone who's in the Raptor market, do not pay anywhere close to original MSRP for a Gen 2 Raptor. You can now get a Gen 3 Raptor at MSRP at a lot of dealers. And so why would you pay anywhere close to original MSRP for a truck that is inferior in every single way? And so again, there are a lot of other vehicles where a similar story applies. So you just want to be careful out there, people. And this leads us over into the new car market side of things. And the trick that dealers are using right now is absolutely genius in the most evil possible way. And I know I'm going to get comments of people telling me that what they're doing is technically quote unquote illegal, but it's actually not. And I'll explain why. So what dealers are doing is they are either posting a please call for price on their website or on third-party sites. This is something that's happened for quite some time. And so then it forces you to call. So then they can basically just gauge where you're at as a customer and determine what they should tell you the price is. Now, chances are, if it's a please call for price, it usually means that the price is super high, way above market. That's not always the case, but it's usually the case. Now, the other thing that dealers are doing with these new cars is they're just posting the MSRP on third-party sites and on their website. They're not posting sales price. They're just posting the MSRP. And again, they're doing the exact same thing. They're hoping people reach out, and then they're gauging each customer on a case-by-case basis. And based on what that customer says to the dealer will determine what price that customer gets. And so you could have two people reach out on the same exact car, and one of them will basically be told over MSRP, and another person will be told under MSRP. The only difference is how that person approaches the phone call and whether they're educated or not. If the person approaches the phone call in a way of saying, hey, I know what's happening in the car market, Mr. Dealership, and I know that car prices are going down consistently on the used car market and that you're struggling to sell new cars, so what's your best price, right? They're going to be like, okay, this person knows, so we're going to work a little bit for it. Whereas if someone calls in and says, hey, is this available? I've been looking for one. They're going to be like, yeah, it is, but it's $2,500 over MSRP, right? Again, they're basically using this as a tool to gauge, how much money they can make off of a customer. Now, like I said earlier, a lot of you might say, Ben, that is completely illegal. And the answer is not exactly. And the reason why it's not exactly illegal is with new cars, you can just post the MSRP. You don't have to post the sales price because you can put a little disclaimer that says MSRP is set by the manufacturer, but that does not reflect actual sales price. Actual sales price is determined by the dealership and tax, titles, all that kind of stuff that goes, all the other state fees as well. Like, read the disclaimers on websites. Like, they have everything covered from a legal standpoint. So even though this might seem like a bait and switch tactic, because, well, it kind of is, from a legal standpoint with new cars, it isn't at the same time. Because again, as long as they just they're not putting sales price, as long as they just put MSRP, and they have that disclaimer that says that MSRP does not reflect actual sales price is determined by whatever, then the dealership ultimately can charge whatever they want for that car, and they can tell you whatever they want. They can literally, just like that, say, okay, yep, right now it's 1,000 over MSRP. Oh, no, now it's 2,000 over MSRP. Like, they can do ultimately whatever they want. So how can you use this information to help you out as someone who is shopping for a car? First off, on the used car side of things, well, if the price doesn't look right, then simply don't buy it. And don't assume that a vehicle's market value is what, the vehicles are going for on the market. I know that seems completely counterintuitive because you're like, Ben, if the vehicles are, being sold for a certain amount, and that's what the market value is, it's like, well, no. What you have to realize is those are the asking prices. Those aren't the selling prices, right? You have to find the selling prices, not the asking prices. And so even if every single vehicle in your region is being priced at a certain amount, that does not necessarily mean that that is the actual, again, retail value of that vehicle. It could be under the retail value, but chances are in today's market, it's going to be over the retail value with most vehicles because most dealers are buried in their used car inventory. And so again, just don't pay the price. Do your research, find out what the wholesale value is on that car and find out what current actual retail value is on that car so that you don't pay too much money for something. And then when it comes to new cars, well, education is king. I know everyone says cash is king, but education is king. That's what's in today's video. And so understand that this is, it's not really a new game, but more and more dealers are starting to kind of, go into this route. And so you need to approach the dealership with, the persona of, hey, I know what's happening in the car market. I understand that I can get a discount on a car and I expect you to offer me a discount. Because if you don't, then you're not going to, right? It's one of those things where if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. Don't ask, don't tell, right? So just go in with that persona, and I think you'll be surprised with the deals that dealers will offer you just because you know what's going on. That's going to sum things up for today's video. Hopefully that helps you out, and I'll see you.